Hi guys, I'm Jason, I'm your watch guy, and today I've got another review for you. But before we get into that, first it's story time. Now, the year's 2016, I'm in the south of France on a romantic getaway with my girlfriend. I'm walking down one of the shopping strips in Nice, and every window is packed with high-end items, really nice looking things. So we walk past one of the shops and it's a Rolex dealer, and obviously that's not very uncommon in the south of France. There's a lot of money down there, so a lot of these watches catch my eye because they're Rolexes and they're going to. It's like throwing a toddler into a sweet shop. But one of them in particular really stood out to me, and it was one of those one day moments. And this is the watch. It's a Rolex Yacht Master 40 116655, and I don't think to this day I've ever seen a prettier watch, and one that's, Rolex, this high-end manufacturer that deals in gold and diamonds, and it's on a rubber strap and it's got a matte bezel insert, and it was just gorgeous. So I turned to me missus and I said, one day I'll have that watch. And she looked at the €17,500 price, kind of laughed at me and walked away. And unfortunately guys, today isn't the day. The day probably isn't very close either. But I believe last year Pagani Design released this little beauty, the Pagani Design Explorer. And to me, it's probably the closest homage that I have seen to the Yacht Master 40. So I was very excited to get one of these in. Now, I'm sure you've seen my unboxing video. It's been a long time in the making this review. So guys, let's get straight into it. Now, if you've watched my earlier unboxing video, you will know that I have ended up with two of these, which kind of plays into this video, to be fair, because we have got the black face and the blue black face on this one. Personally, I like the black face a lot more. I think it looks a lot more like the Rolex Yacht Master 40, and that does it for me. So let me get this one out of the box and we'll start in on this review. Now, I bought this on sale on AliExpress for just under £68. They have obviously increased the price. I believe they're just over £72 now, or $81. AliExpress have sales all the time. I think if you look at the fact that you're not going to get this watch for around a month anyway with shipping, you may as well wait for a sale to come around. Maybe try and put some coupons on top too, and save yourself as much money as you possibly can. Not to say that it's not worth it, but if you can save money, save money. These are the two available designs. You can also pick these up with NATO straps. I advise against that because I've heard the NATO straps are pretty crap. Also, it's very easy to go out and buy a standard NATO strap for around £5 and put that onto them. You're going to find it harder to buy a bracelet like this for the same amount of money. So let's get into the dimensions of this watch. It is a 40mm case, which is obviously the same as the Rolex that I mentioned in the intro. It is 13mm thick. The lugs come in at 22mm. This bracelet here tapers down to a very small 16mm at the clasp, and lug to lug it comes in at 47mm, which makes this watch very wearable. It fits very comfortably on wrist. It will be okay for people with smaller wrists because of that lug to lug width. Now, we are housing my favourite movement in this watch, obviously the NH35. I've said in plenty of videos before this one, it is a solid movement. There is not much more you can ask for at this price range, especially at this price range. You will find the same movement in watches that go up and around the £300 to £400 mark, especially in the micro brand sector. So to find one in a watch that is under £80, I think you're doing quite well. Now, moving on, obviously, as I've mentioned, this is a homage to the Yacht Master 40, that watch that still eludes me to this day. Styling is nothing to do with Pagani Design, unfortunately. I mean, everything down to the crown guards is pretty much identical. I'll just pop a picture up again just here so you can see that. Aside from the stainless steel and the colour of the face, I think it's pretty much the same design. The case has brushed steel finishing on the tops of the lugs with a high polish finish to the sides, and on these crown guards also. Now we do have a screw down crown. I'll just pop this out for you. 2 positions, one for the date and one for the hands. One thing I will say is the crown on this is quite stiff, and I don't think it's just my one because I have heard other reviewers say the same thing. We also have a screw down case back, which is a display case back. You can see that lovely NH35 movement doing its thing in the back of there. Moving on to our bezel, we have a 60 click unidirectional bezel. Now I have heard a lot of people say that this bezel doesn't make the best sound. I think that's a pretty solid sound, to be fair. It's a bit of a shame that it's a 60 click unidirectional bezel and not a 120 click, but they have to save money somewhere, I guess. We have this really nice matte black stealth insert, which I think is the crowning piece of this watch. That's what really sets it off for me, that stealth looking insert. That is a ceramic bezel insert, which isn't exactly 100% functional due to the fact that it isn't loomed, so I don't think you'd be able to really see this stealth look if you took this watch diving. We have a Rolex style bezel, which is really nice and does add to the quality look of this watch. Another sign of quality on this watch is the crystal here. It is a sapphire crystal with a sapphire cyclops over the date window there. Unfortunately, as you probably can notice, we do not have any anti-reflective coating on this crystal, which is a shame, but again, they have to cut some sort of corners at this price range. Moving on to the dial of this watch, it is a printed dial. We have the Pagani Design logo up at the top here with the Explorer label underneath. Automatic, water resistant, 10 bar, 100 meter. That's all printed on there, very legible, very easy to read. We do have applied loomed indices. Now I won't show you the loom just yet, as you've probably guessed, it is going to come under my moan section. We also have a loomed Mercedes handset, as you would expect to see on a Rolex Homage. Not my favourite style of hands, but it fits the criteria for this Homage. I'll just move you around this bracelet that comes with the watch. We have a brushed finish on the outer links with a high polish finish down the middle, and to be completely honest with you, I've seen much worse finishing on much more expensive watches. These are screw links, which I actually haven't had in a watch before, and they made it so easy resizing this watch, so that is definitely a bonus to these watches. The brushed outer edges and polished inner follows onto the clasp, and I really like that they've put some effort into this clasp. They've really tried to make this as high quality as they possibly can. Now if we look over to the other side, it does have a deployable diver extension. We have 4 micro adjustments on the inside. I will also be picking that up in my moan section, so stick around. When I ordered this watch, I did try to limit my expectations of it because of the price I was paying, and to be very fair to it, it's done a pretty good job to meet and exceed my expectations. But as always, there are downsides to this watch, and you've got to expect them at this price range. They've tried to fit a lot into this budget. Firstly, we all know that I'm a big fan of loom, and this watch is probably one of the worst that I've seen in terms of loom. I'll insert a loom shot just here, and as you can see, it's not great. Starts off alright and then fades really quickly, which isn't what we want to see. Another slight moan that I do have to pick up on is that the sides of the case in places are very sharp, and that isn't the best thing to see on a watch. You don't want your watch to be digging into you and causing you any sort of discomfort, and I just wish that they'd kind of had a little bit more quality control over these. Maybe spent a little bit extra just to finish that case off in a slightly better manner. My third moan is this bezel, and it's not a big one. I didn't expect it to be 100% at this price range. The action is a little bit bouncy. There is a bit of movement and a bit of play in there. Not something that I am going to mind, I'm going to be honest, but I know it's something that other people will pick up on, so I do need to mention to you. Finally, and this is the big one, this is the one that's killing me a bit, the bracelet. And it's not really the bracelet itself, it's this clasp. Now, they've tried to do a lot for the budget, and I understand that, and in places they've really done well for what they've spent. This watch, when I received it, was already, yeah, so the screw end has come out. The bar is obviously still keeping the watch bracelet in place, but it's not something that you expect to see on a brand new watch. You expect to be able to at least wear it, which is a big disappointment to me. I mean, maybe I can pick up another half of that and fix it myself. Hopefully I can, because I do really like this watch. Another issue that I have is I have really small wrists, and I've had to take pretty much all the links out of this. Well, in fact, I have had to take all the links out of this, and then I've had to put it on one of the lower micro adjustments on the clasp, which then means that the bracelet does not fit in the end of the clasp, which is a massive shame. I have to wear it as opening the diver extension and then closing over so it all fits together. It doesn't fit badly, it's a bit loose. I wish it was a bit tighter, but I have some of the smallest wrists that you will probably see a watch reviewer have, so don't be put off by it too much unless you put yourself in the baby wrist category, as I do. Now, my conclusion of this watch: if you are going to buy a Rolex Yacht Master 40 Homage, I think 1, this is one of the only ones on the market I've seen, and 2, I think it does an amazing job for the price that you're going to pay, especially if you get it on sale. I just don't think any other manufacturer at the moment is doing as well as Pagani are with this Homage. NH35 movement, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, a clasp that is well designed, even if mine didn't come in perfect condition. This one did, so I just think at this price point it's definitely a watch that you should be looking at. If it's your type of style, I advise you to pick it up. I don't think you'll be very disappointed as long as you measure your expectations as I did. So guys, that is my review of the Pagani Design Explorer. Now, this little fella is probably as close as I'm getting to that Rolex Yacht Master 40 anytime soon, and I think I'm alright with that. For the price that you pay for this watch, I think it is a brilliant buy, especially with that NH35 movement. It's absolutely solid, and at this price range, I believe it is absolutely perfect for a homage to the Rolex Yacht Master 40. Guys, if you've got to this point in the video, you may as well subscribe. If you'd like to see more watches from AliExpress, please let me know in the comments. If there's any in particular that you'd like to see, then please do comment. I'll see you in the next one.